Diane Kaplan from Mom Me, your mama resource from conception to college. Wherever you are on your momming journey, we are here for you. And what we're talking about this week in the group is transition and change. And Wednesday, as you guys all know, it's my baby mama day. It's when I talk to all of you moms out there who are getting ready to have a baby and experiencing the joys and maybe not so great joys of pregnancy. And it's transition week. I'm talking about birth. Of course, you guys gotta know I'm going to be talking about transition in labor because there's a whole phase of labor called transition. How could I not talk about it during transition week? So what I want to talk about with transition, if you guys are getting ready for birth, you already know so much about the ins and outs of transition probably. You probably know that transition is the end of the first phase of labor. You probably know that transition is typically the most intense and luckily the most short part of labor. You probably know that. But what I want to talk about now is a little bit more on the woo-woo side when we talk about labor and birth prep and transition. What I want to talk about is what's going on for you in your body when you're in transition. Why is transition even called transition? Typically, we learn that transition is called transition because it's when you're transitioning from the first stage of labor to the second stage of labor. You're transitioning from the opening up part of labor, the dilation part of labor, into the pushing part of labor, the second stage of labor. But I want to challenge you to think about transition is in a bigger way, okay? Because when you're transitioning from opening to pushing, transition is the most intense time of labor because it's the time of your labor when you are the most open. And I don't just mean that in a physical sense. Your dilation is the biggest. You're going those last couple centimeters of your opening. Yes, of course that's true. But I want to put it out there to you guys that when you're in transition, you are the most animalistic, the most bonkers, the most non-human, non-frontal lobe, non-thinking part of labor because you are totally open, totally open in a way that most people don't let themselves be pretty much ever. And if you're a kind of a reserved person, you probably might never be this way except for when you're in labor. And I can tell you that it can be really scary to let yourself go and be totally crazy and bonkers and animalistic and moaning like a cow and doing crazy positions and saying things you'd never let yourself say. But I want to challenge you to flip that and think about the fact that instead of it being scary and out of control, it's actually totally liberating because you are so open and vulnerable and exposed and all of those scary things. There is literally nothing holding you back. It is the one singular moment in your life when you, as a woman, as a mother, can feel the raw, crazy power of your body and be completely limitless with your behavior, your mindset, your words, everything. There is nothing holding you back. And that is something that's great for partners too to know, because when a mom is so open and vulnerable and exposed like that during labor, it's a great time to fill her up and lay the foundation for confident, awesome self-belief in motherhood. I love to think about pregnant mom and especially a mom who's in transition part of labor as this big open like vessel, this like huge gaping open hole, and everything that mom is exposed to when she's like that in her big open flayed open state is going to go into her. She's going to absorb it. She's so suggestible and open without any filter holding her back. And that's when we can say things to her when she's in labor like, oh my God, you're amazing. You look like a goddess. Your body is tremendous. You're blowing me away with how incredible you are. Thank you so much for having our baby. All of these things, because after that baby comes out and that transition phase is gone and that animalistic moment is over, it's not just the cervix that starts closing up. It's mom. Everything that got put into that mama while she was open and exposed that way gets put in there and sealed up. And that's in there now. So instead of it being scared of that moment, let's take advantage of it. Let's take advantage of it and be excited about the fact that we are going to be going through this experience during labor of transition, of being open, transitioning not just from opening to pushing, but transitioning in so many ways, transitioning from pregnant person to mother, transitioning from human to animal. And if anyone's seen a woman in labor who's going through transition, you know what I'm talking about. Transition in labor is so aptly named. And guess what, you guys? All of these things that I'm telling you are applicable when you're not in labor too, because when we're going through a change, a major change in our lives, when we're going through a transition moment in our lives, we are so open, we are so vulnerable, and we are so in need of supportive stuff coming in and feeding us. Am I right? You guys know that's true. So I hope that these tips are helpful for you if you're getting ready for a baby. I didn't want to just tell you all the things you already know. Oh, 7 to 10 centimeters, blah, blah, blah. You already know that. You can read that from a book. I'm telling you the deeper stuff that's going on that's going to help you keep it together when you're in labor. And I hope that this is helpful for you even if you're not in labor. And speaking of helpful, if you guys are looking for some help in getting your head on straight about momming and parenting and getting your kids to be in line, all of those things, consider signing up for Saturday's webinar, 3 secrets to raising great kids without losing your sanity. That's the key, right? Sign up. It's totally free. I'm going to be spending the whole hour talking about how to keep our cool with our kids, how to really have that connection with our kids, get them to listen the first time, feel like the good mom we always wanted to be, and be actually momming calm. So sign up. I'm going to put a link in the comments below, and I hope you guys are having an amazing day and a hugely wonderful time at whatever part of mothering journey you're on right now. Bye.